Okay, we're going to replace these three belts. We'll start with removing the two screws from the back of the unit. It's a flat blade or a Phillips screwdriver. Take the screws out. Next thing you'll want to do, separate the cover in the back by lifting with a fingernail. Get about a ½ inch gap in the rear. When you get your fingers in the back, use your thumb on the front. Press down on the gray part while lifting on the back until it pops free. Once it pops free, continue lifting on the rear. Then on the front of the unit, put your thumb about 1.5 inches in, about a ½ inch up, push in while lifting on the back. Do the same on this side, about 1.5 inches in, about a ½ inch up. While lifting on the back, give that a push, and the cover should pop right off. See, there are two tabs here which are held in place in the cover. Keep that on. Okay, set that cover aside. Next thing we need to do is remove the carousel from the unit. The carousel platter is held onto a spindle with a spindle nut on the top. So we need to remove that spindle nut. Okay. On the center of the spindle nut, there are two rectangular openings and a round hole in the center. Take your flat blade screwdriver and put it in one of the rectangular holes. Put your finger in the center, hold down on it, and rotate the whole assembly about 1/8 of a turn counterclockwise. So holding down, turn it counterclockwise, you'll feel it click. Once you feel it click, lift the carousel off. Okay, hold the carousel to the left of the slot, and on the right side of the rear, put your fingers underneath, lift it gently up. When you lift it up just a little bit, and then tilt the back higher and slide the thing towards the rear. There's a tab on the front here that can hit your discs, knock them loose. When moving the carousel away, make sure that you don't tip it or knock any of the discs out, because that will mess up your database. Sometimes those are hard to straighten back out. So make sure you don't drop any discs off the disc platter. Set it aside. The belts that we need to replace are the turntable drive belt, located in the back corner, the roller drive belt, which go to the rollers by the slot, and the clutch drive belt, which drives the clutch, which works the lifter as well as the rollers near the slot. We'll start with these two belts first. We'll do that one last. To replace these two belts, first thing we have to do is to remove this lifter. The lifter is held in place with an axle going through two pillars coming up from the base of the unit. Also, on this clutch, there are two tabs that are straddling a screw on this clutch. So to remove this lifter mechanism, put your finger on the angled side, push it towards the right side of the unit. Gently, you can see this pillar here flexing a little bit. So pull it forward just a little bit. While doing that, push back on the rear pillar a little bit and pop that corner out of the pillar. Once you've popped that one out, move the thing back, take it off. Notice you've got the two axles, and then you've got the two pieces here that will straddle that lifting mechanism. Set that aside. Next we want to remove this belt, which goes up to pulley here. So you want to lift these rollers up about 1/4 inch. Lift them up, hold them up, pull the belt loose, remove the belt from the clutch. I'm done with that. Next we need to remove the belt that goes onto the clutch mechanism. This isn't so easy because there's not enough clearance on the bottom of the motor pulley to get the belt off of the motor. So we need to lift the motor up. The motor is held in place with 3 clips, so we need to loosen the motor from the clips to lift it up. So again, using the flat blade screwdriver, there's a pillar standing up between the 2 clips on the rear, and there's a pillar just beside the clip on the front. Notice there's a notch in the motor for the front pillar and a notch in the motor for the rear pillar. Wires coming off of it. You don't want to pinch the wires, so you should put a little clearance in the wires by removing them from the clip that holds them down to the cover. That way you get a little bit of room to wiggle the motor around. So put the screwdriver between the motor and the pillar in the back and gently pry against that pillar to pop the motor free of the back 2 clips. Then on the front, gently pull the motor back and push the pillar, push the clip forward, and you can free the motor from that front clip. It takes a little force, but it comes up. Just lift that motor up about 1/4 of an inch, just enough so you have clearance to get the belt off the motor pulley. Okay? There's the belt.